early 20s now, your career began to pick up.
Yes.
Like, hey, you are making boss moves.
Not really.
Maybe I was selling Tomba. You are working here, you have gone to another space, like you are working in different spaces. So I went to like a district school, a day school, like where even the lab was full of those things that bite people are called what? It's called pino in Kijaluo.
Wasp.
They would bite people. We had one lab. We didn't have a proper library. Like there was nothing. Like it was just one block like this, and so I went there and I was like, I am done. I want to review my life. And then I passed my exam and went to law school. So I remember you reached out and you came and visited me.
Yes.
In
In uni, yes.
So how was that experience?
I think at that time, personally, I was also going through a bit of a tough time.
Yeah.
And I really just wanted to go out of Nairobi, like just to do something that is different from my normal routine.
Yeah.
So when I reached out and you were cool about me visiting, I was like, there's nothing much I'm doing in Nairobi. Why not just go to Eldoret for a weekend and I'll be back? Like, there's no harm.
Yeah.
So when I came and we really reconnected on a deeper level,
Yeah.
something that I didn't even plan on happening. So
Yeah.
we just reconnected, and I think from there is when the friendship really took off.
Yeah. Was I different?
No, actually, you're very homely.
Yeah.
'Cause
like the high school me and now the uni me.
yes, you're a bit reserved, and I think at that point you're still held on some bitterness with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You were really trying to recount of the experience that you had in high school, and you were wondering, okay, why did all of these things happen to me while I was just helping people?
Yeah.
You never really had bad intentions.
Yeah. And everyone like betrayed me. What I remember stood out is I couldn't remember a lot of that experience. I think at times when you're dealing with trauma, you tend to forget.
Yes, or you block out the bad experiences.
Yeah, and so I think I blocked off a lot of things, and so you kept on reminding me of some of the things that happened. But I remember like you are still pretty much the same person. I think mostly just a bit, you're going through a hard time, of course, like that was hard, but then you're pretty much just the same person. And I think for me, that is the point where our relationship really solidified. And from then we would talk a lot. We would just share our experiences. And so like for you, did you realize that there was a difference like in our friendship from high school, like from our teenage, like contrast our teenage years to now, this is now our early 20s?
I think it was easier for me to relate with you because now you didn't have the crowd with you.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really good with crowds. So when I'm doing the one-on-one with you, it was really easy to get to know you now without all the other people now in your space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember like in campus, I never used to have friends. So I think for me, high school really sealed the deal for me when it comes to friendships. I think for me, I was like, the friends that I have made, that's it. I think I've struggled with friendship ever since from high school.
I think you even say this like a lot, but I think mostly when now you relocated back to Kisumu, you're more of like, me, I don't want any more friends. I'm not in the business of trying to make friends.
I am done. That sector is closed. And then 23 years, I get pregnant.
Yes.
How did I share the news with you? Did I call?
I think when I visited is when I noticed, because you didn't say much about it. I think you were also processing a lot in your head.
Yeah.
But I just like went through the friendship with you, like I didn't feel like the pregnancy would change you any bit.
Yeah.
So I was just there to support you.
Yeah. And I think for me, that is the second time that now I knew we were in each other's lives for life. You are very supportive during the time that I was pregnant. I remember you kept on visiting. I lived in Embakasi.
Yes.
And you lived in South B.
No, I used to live in Nairobi West at that
Nairobi
time.
West, yeah. And like you were so available for me in a way that I didn't even think was possible, because you see, like my life had stopped. Everyone else's life was going on.
Yes,
so I
yes.
didn't get to go to Kenya School of Law because now I had a child to take care of. And I remember through all that process, like you were so much available for me that I think even when I was in my depressive state and stuff, I knew I could always call you and talk to you, and you would make time and visit. That time you'd already started working.
Not yet. I think
But
I
you
was
had
still.
money.
Did I have money? I actually didn't.
You always came
'Cause I
visiting.
remember-
You were wearing
No.
nice
No, at that
clothes.
time I was still
bags.
staying at my brother's, so I
You
think
had
he
an
was
allowance.
he was supporting me, because I remember when you gave birth to Ariella, that day we were from church. It was a Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a Sunday.
Yeah, so I came from church.
I
and-
remember because there was Tusker Project Fame grand finale.
So we were from church, and then I said, my friend has given birth. Let me go and visit her. And I remember I actually was thinking, okay, fine, I'm going to visit a newborn. What am I even going to buy? Like, what am I supposed to buy? But I'm like, okay, I also don't have the money to like get something extravagant. So let me just show up.
Yeah.
And then from there, we'll figure out what you need. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, like during different phases of life, people lose friends because you can no longer relate to them. So like when people get children or get married or whatever, some friends just sort of fall off because there are certain things now we can't do together and all these other things. What made you like stay?
I think I was having
a lot of people
fun.
left.
Yeah, I was having fun also. It's not like we were just like friends based on maybe our problems or
Yeah.
something. For me, it was fun because I remember when you stayed in Embakasi and I used to visit, we used to even go like get the chapatis
Yes.
and chicken from the streets.
Street food.
Street
Embakasi
food. Like,
was the best.
like we were just having fun. So for me, it never really crossed my mind that, oh, you know, this your friend is like almost getting a baby.
Yeah.
It didn't really hit me that much because like life just goes on. Like
Yeah.
this is her journey.
Yeah.
At this point, like she's having a child, but it doesn't mean that she's going to change unless she decides to change.
Yeah.
So that's why it was easy for me
Did
to
you
stay
judge
on.
me kidogo like on the side?
No.
Like, why is she pregnant? And she's
No,
just
like
22?
I was just thinking to myself, like, okay, what if I was in this situation? Like, what would happen?
Yeah.
And like, mimi kwetu sijui. I honestly don't know if I have the headspace to handle all of this because I
Yeah.
felt like you're also going through a lot because you're just done with school. Here you are, you're having a child. You haven't figured out like what the next phase of your life is going to be like. At the same time, you're a pastor's child.
Yeah.
Like you're processing all of that. Because I remember it took you a bit of time to even like get back to your relationship with your dad.
Yeah.
And it was really bothering you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you are really, really
Yeah.
good friends. And during that phase, did you realize any changes? For me, I felt that you are... during every phase of my life, I was getting to learn a different side of you. So like in this phase, I just got to see like the supportive, really supportive side, really loyal side, caring side, kind side. Like for me, because you're not expressive, like you're not those ones of I love you, I love you, I love you, kisses, like Ariella, hugs and kisses. No, not like that. But I think in that moment, I could feel the love. I could feel like this is someone that would, I think for me it solidified your place in my life. I always tell Maureen, like, it doesn't matter what happens, like Mercy and I, like Mercy will always be in my life. And I think for me that is the place where I really knew that, like, this was for life. Like, you're not going anywhere. I don't know how you felt in that moment. Did I change during the pregnancy and after the baby? Because that is when I also began my faith journey.
Yes. But I think for me, I didn't really focus much on your change as a person. Because I think because we related nicely on a friendship level.
Yeah.
Like, I knew having a friend is really important. Like, just someone you can get to talk to. Like, you can just be expressive with this person. So for me, it was really easy. Like, I didn't even look at it more or like you needed like a support per se, because I was there before and I was like, okay, there's no, like, why wouldn't I be there after?
Yeah.
I might not have like all the answers you need. I might not have all the resources you need, but just being there. And you see also from you didn't make it like difficult, because you see some people would look at it like, I'm even having a child, this person I consider a friend is not even showing up for me the way I want them to show up for me. So you recognizing that you just needed a friend, and maybe you were not being you, like, I don't know how to explain it, but you needed lots of things at that time that you couldn't even get for yourself, even for your baby. That maybe some people would have been like, see, I have a friend, she should see that I don't have this, I don't have that, like, to bring for me. Because if I could even visit you without bringing anything, and you were just cool about it, and we just still have fun, whatever is in the house, you'll just prepare, we eat whatever is there. But at times we go to the street, we get the street chapos and all. So it was really easy.
And I think I was at my lowest point, both mentally, financially, physically, like everything was not working. And so I was broke. I think it was the time that I was selling Tumba, right?
Yes, you started selling Tumba around that time.
It wasn't working nicely as well. So like I was very, very broke and very emotionally like bankrupt. I didn't have anything to look up to as much. And so I think your friendship for me meant a lot during that period. You and Sharon, you kept on visiting, you kept on coming. And I think for me, that was the highlight. And so towards the end of my pregnancy, I started my faith journey. Did I get to share that with you? Like, I used to go to Kesha.
Yes, you used to go to JCC, right?
Yeah, Parkland.
Yes.
Yeah, and so during that period, like navigating faith and relationship, and one of the things that I really, really appreciate about our relationship is that despite the fact that you are on different journeys, we've always had a common ground. So like, you see, like when people get through transitions, maybe get babies, renew their walk with God, like their faith journey, get married and stuff, like certain things begin to change. And have you ever felt in any moment, like, because my 20s imekuwa na so many transitions, at any given point, did you ever feel that maybe like we are not connecting at the same level that we were before?
No, because like you personalize your journey. Like it's you going through it. And if someone wants to join you, like you're fine with it, but you never make your space in such a way that you're being judgy to other people that are not with you in your journey. Like you just make time for what you want to do. And I think the friendship has been really good for both of us, because everyone notices like when someone else needs space. You know, like I could be even visiting you, but I know like on Sunday you're going to church. Like that's it. You wouldn't even like need to tell me like, Mercy, you know, like tomorrow we are going to church. Like there's no you don't carry people along by force. It has to come from you.
Yeah.
So that's
not been difficult.
Yeah.
So I also find like the same experience with you, because in your early 20s now your career began to pick up.
Yes.
Like, hey, you are making boss moves.
Not really.
Maybe I was selling Tomba. You are working here. You have gone to another space. Like you are working in different spaces. Like you are resigning and picking up new jobs. And I was like, hey, Mimi, I didn't have a job. Like maybe Kuruza Mtumba is a job.
No, but you
remember
you
this time I got a job in Rwanda.
Yes.
And then I couldn't go because I was told tusichome. Mtoto ni mdogo.
Yeah.
So I didn't take it, but I really felt my career was stuck.
But you see, it's interesting because the moment you decided to move to Kisumu, like I could see even your post from Facebook and it was like, she's coming back, you know, because you really went back. Because when you're in Nairobi after giving birth, you were really like,
I added weight.
You added weight. So when I started seeing you had lost weight. Even Ariella was thriving, and I was really happy for you even before you actually settled on the job, because the job you got, you started by volunteering, but the fact that you actually got the courage to go back home, and the relationship with your dad really now started thriving. So I knew you were in a good place.
Yeah.
And from there you just picked up. Place. Yeah.
And so I think during that season you had already established yourself career-wise. And then I was just trying to figure it out. And this is like at 25, 26 years. Because Ariella was born when I was late 23, because she was born in December. I moved back in 2015. So 2015, that's when I started volunteering. So I was like, I just started my journey because I'd never worked anywhere before. I was really I was at my very early stages of work. I think for you, your career had taken off. And one of the things that I realized is I didn't feel any different about, like there was no difference. It was just like, this is just massive.
Yes.
And for me, I think that has been the biggest part of our relationship, is that we are just the person that we first knew. Like, despite the wins that have come, the different
seasons,
parts that people have gotten into, like, it's just different. And so in 2018, in 2018, I get married.
Yes.
And see, that is where people normally say relationships break.
Yes.
Like it ends. Did you ever feel any like difference?
I think personally, I love to celebrate people around me. So the moment you told me you were having a wedding, like I just jumped up to it. I just told you like, you just let me know what you need, whatever support you need. Like I'll be there the whole way.
Ulikosana na watu juu ya.
But you see, like for me, because the moment you told me, the moment you told me, like,
defensive. What is the word?
Protective.
You're very protective. So that for me, that is what I learned about you during that season. Is like you would fight battles that I don't even know you are fighting. I'm like, people are now mad. Like, you see how weddings just bring out the worst in people. Like my bridal shower was dramatic.
Like for me, the moment you told me you were having a wedding, like it was just set. You're having a wedding, it has to happen. And it has to be nice.
Yeah.
Like, at whatever cost. And, like, because with weddings, like, people have lots of things going on in the background. Maybe even with finances and all. So, for me as a friend, I looked at it like, what burden can I take off of you?
Yeah.
And if I take it, like, I'll take it full, like, to the end.
Yeah.
So whatever happened along the way with anyone else, like everyone else didn't matter because it wasn't their day, you know.
Yeah.
So if you're bringing up anything else that is going to make the wedding like not as glamorous in my head as it's supposed to be, like just get out of the way.
Yeah. You don't have to be here. You are not invited. You're not the bride. You're not the groom.
Like the mission is to get these people married and them to have like a perfect wedding.
Yeah.
Whatever perfect like seems like for them,
Yeah.
that's what we are going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you are very protective during that period, and like you really kicked like your planning, like everything. Like we were even picking like bridesmaids dresses together.
Yes.
Updating on the things that are going through. I think you are very, very supportive during that period. And so yeah, for me, that is now the you that I'm learning, and this is now our late 20s. And so throughout our 20s, there's been many transitions that have happened. And I think during every transition, there's a new you that I learned. There's a new you that I learned. I think for me, up until our 20s, we've never even had any conflict.
Yes.
Yeah. So like our 20s for me is where like our friendship solidified. I think it's where we were truly there for each other. I think teenage friendships are great, but like they're so on the surface.
Yes.
Nothing has happened.
Like you don't even understand the depth of the friendship or what you need from someone as a friend.
Yeah, you don't know their full character. You don't know how they handle stuff. You don't know, like, so our teenage was cute, but like nothing to write home about. I think our friendship was shaped, and the foundation of our friendship was shaped in our 20s.
Yes.
And so like we are done with our 20s. And then we move to 30s now.
Yeah.
More babies. Now the babies start coming like there's a flood.
Yeah. Floodgates have been opened.
Yes. And my career picks up as well.
Yes.
And when I was even starting Stada, you are the person I spoke to.
Yes.
And you became definitely the chair of the board. And we were planning stuff. You gave me the money to register Stada.
Yeah, yes.
I was broke during that time. It was the COVID period.
Yes.
And so I didn't have the cash, and then like you sent it. Like no questions asked, like you sent it, and maybe if you didn't send it, maybe Stada would never have been registered.
No, I think you were uncertain about starting it. But you see, I think the person that really pushed you into it was your dad. Because he kept on saying like, why do you people keep on talking about this startup and you're not starting it?
Yeah.
Like, if you keep on talking about it and you don't do it, like it will just be a conversation that you had someday.
Yeah.
Instead of just waking up and doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you sent me money to go and register. So I registered Stada. That is when Mali was born a year after.
Yes.
In 2021. I almost died. And I remember you were always on phone, like, afanye hii. So like you being in the medical field, like for me it was like you're always the first person to call. What do we do when this happens? What do we do? I think you were very supportive in that moment. You traveled to come and see Mali. You took leave.
Yes.
And came and saw her, and you are just like in full. And when someone sees you, they don't even see you in that light that you've been a full mommy mode, like doing all these things. But then you did it with so much grace, and like you are so supportive during that period as well. Just goes to solidify the fact that like you have always been there throughout almost all phases in life. And then I don't know, now seeing me as a second time mom, was there any difference?
No, I think it's just because this experience was really different from the first one. It was so different, and it was hard on you, and you were just trying to balance everything in your environment. You're trying to balance work, and at that time I think is when you really started to make up your mind about leaving the employment.
Yeah.
And you went back to Mtumba business.
Yes. In 2021, after Mali.
Yes.
When I went back to work after the maternity leave, I resigned.
Yes. So you really just had a lot of things going on, and even with your health. So I really just felt like you needed all the support you could get, because you see, new mothers, we never get to ask the mothers how they're doing. Most of the
Yeah.
time, like, people just are like, oh, how's your baby doing?
Yeah.
What's going on with the baby?
Yeah.
Oh, how many months is the baby? You know. And at that time you were really struggling with also healing.
Yeah.
And I remember you really being hard on yourself in terms of, are you being a good mother? Because I remember even your consultancy job started to take off around that time.
Yeah.
So I think there was a consultancy you got when Mali was still a bit young.
Yes.
And it was really hard for you to go for the job. But I think at that time I was also around. Yeah. So I was just like, see, we're all here. Like, your baby will be fine. You go for the job and you'll be back, and you'll still just pick up from where you left off. Yeah.
Okay.